everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Ace Attorney, or Let's Stream Ace Attorney, or what? I'm very tired.
Just let's.
Just let's.
Hi everyone, welcome to Let's.
In this episode, me and Molly will rage endlessly against all the people that put too many goddamn tags in their stories.
That was last night.
I don't know, it was this morning. You saw what I posted. What the hell was that? Like, no, seriously, I was just waking up, or I was just laying in bed trying to sleep, but then I realized I had to get up because it was time. And I started scrolling through my morning, like, I have like a cycle of fan fiction places that I scroll through just to see if there's anything interesting or new. And I went through Ace Attorney, and there was a fic that was posted there that I have an iPhone 10 or an iPhone X or whatever you want to call it. Like, look how long this screen is. 5 screen lengths. 5 screen lengths of tags. And this is, I have fairly small print because I have good eyes. I have my brand. I can see my brand. Why do you need that many tags? There were 5,000.
They tagged like every character interaction that happened. So like, I think it's like if 2 characters talk at all, they had to tag it.
Yeah, there are 5,000 words in the story, and I swear to God, there are more tags than words.
Of them are tags.
Yeah. No, I swear to God, there are more tags than the story. It's. I don't understand people. Why do you need? At least the one you posted in the Ruby discussion one, where it was all about the like RT people, the life, like the actual fan fiction of real life. That one at least was a moderate amount of tags. It was like a healthy amount of tags when it comes down to like how many tags you want, where it's not too many, not too little. It's enough to give you an idea of what you're getting into when you go into the fic. It's not overwhelming, and it's not like, oh, you're just going into
the content is terrible, but
the content's terrible, but like the amount of tags, A+.
I'm realizing this hat doesn't match my outfit, and that actually bothers me.
Okay, I'm also going to lower the quality so I can stream it more effectively.
Oh, you want to lower the quality even more? You already have me on, like.
All right. Oh, you weren't here for the last stream, were you?
No, I literally slept through it.
Yeah. So, in the last episode, we learned that Emma is a killer.
Oh, shit.
And that's why Lana has been lying through her teeth the entire time, is in order to protect her little sister who has killed a person.
Oh, damn.
So good.
It is so good.
Raymond and I were actually discussing, because of last stream, we talked a bit about like stoic young characters, like young adult characters, and how unbelievable it is. Like, Raymond's like, Lana's actually a really good example of how you can make that work. The reason why she's very cold and distant is because she has to be. Like, it makes sense. She's not like this because she's edgy and sad.
Yeah, it's not because you're edgy, it's not because you're sad, it's not because you're trying to be the cool guy, although that's actually what I like about Cloud in Final Fantasy VII, especially Remake. They really do a good job of capturing the feeling of he's trying so hard to be cool, and literally everyone's like, right, okay, buddy. And then the best part is he actually does pull off being cool sometimes. People were like, oh yeah, that was fucking awesome. It's like the man gets to have his cake and eat it too, where he gets to be this lovable goof, but he's also kind of this badass. It's great. They balance like
that was something I wanted out of Asbel from Tales of Graces. Like, in the first act of the game, I really thought they were setting that up, that he was like, I want to be seen as the cool guy. But then when he, like, goes back to the starting village in his hometown, everyone else has their life together except him. I really thought that they were gonna, like, explore that more, but he's just, regular old, JRPG, character.
Also, in the meantime, I'm busy annihilating Sarah at Scrabble again. Love you, Sarah.
This is why you don't challenge someone called the Rhyme Master to Scrabble. It seems like a bad plan.
The score right now is 192 to 120, which is actually, she's doing really well.
Oh, damn.
Nice.
All right. February 25th, 1206, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours.
Hey, I hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. I gotta get back into the accent. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later.
Oh, wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it?
You've got a lot of nerve, pal. Making a detective run run around while on duty. Run around while on duty?
Run all around.
And on top of all that, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals.
I take it Lana's having you run errands again.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give you this. If there was this, she asked me to give. What? Hold on. I'm sorry. I need to take a second. She asked me to give this to you if there was a break in the today's trial.
In this episode of Ace Attorney, Fat Man has a stroke on stream.
It's not a stroke. It's regular old dyslexia.
Evidence
You
law.
have dyslexia?
Yeah.
Oh. Actually,
Why do you think I'm having trouble reading one sentence?
I didn't know that. I thought maybe it's because you just woke up.
No, I've been up for a couple hours. Yeah.
Edric was talking.
Oh god,
about
I
this
hope people just
day.
don't think I'm naturally this bad at reading.
Well,
Oh my gosh,
if you
no,
have
I'm sorry to make
dyslexia,
fun of
you
I
do.
had no idea.
Like, if you have dyslexia, aren't you already naturally that bad at reading? Like, literally naturally bad at it?
Yeah, I suppose dyslexia is a natural thing. Whatever. Just know, I can read, just very poorly.
You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department.
Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so.
You could at least study some evidence law, really.
Yeah, it's kind of important for being a fucking lawyer.
Yeah, you should know these things.
I heard my mom on the phone yesterday, like talking about some child. She's just in like the loud Long Island accent, just like, no, it's done, okay? They're squashed like bugs.
The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you this message.
A message?
She said if you're planning to take him on, you know, the bad guy from Powerpuff Girls, you're gonna need this book.
Him.
I could totally see the CW making him like Gant. And it might actually work.
Oh, yeah. I mean, him is going to be such a natural fit when they finally get around to adapting him into the show.
Yeah, like, of
I
all...
hope they don't change it too much.
Yeah, all the antagonists in that series, they don't need to change him, like, at all.
Yeah.
Him. I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. Evidence law securely slipped into pocket. Because you can't just... have you seen a law book before? Can you really casually...
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just gonna casually slip this into my pocket.
Like huge cargo pants with like
Phoenix is like,
4 foot pocket.
Yeah.
Phoenix is like, okay, into the pocket.
To be fair, he does have very tight pockets. Very deep pockets.
Doesn't look like that book will do you any good now, though.
Well, let me check the court record and read it, so I know.
What does it say?
Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Wow, that's, like, very simplified. Like, why do you need a whole book for that?
Oh, yeah, I know. There's a lot of pages there.
It's like, that's not even a book. That's barely a pamphlet. It's like a sheet of loose leaf.
Yeah, you could fold that 4 times. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sin.
That's where you're wrong, detective.
Huh?
Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat, despite all these allegations being thrown at me.
Mr. Edgeworth!
The real trial today hasn't begun yet.
What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's all been ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Skye found out the unwitting cause of the man's death. Oh, she unwittingly caused the man's death. Sorry. And now you're telling me you want to do more? You gotta be kidding me, pal.
You're missing the point, Detective.
Oh.
Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there.
What?
And we're going to expose him, no matter what it takes.
Yeah, get him on indecent exposure. That's good.
This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. February 25, 12:52, District Court, Courtroom number 9!
The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lanaskar. Mr. Edgeworth.
Yes, Your Honor.
The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions.
Batman, you also missed last time when we gave the judge a Kermit voice for like.
Oh, that's right. I did that for the entire stream. I completely forgot about that. Thank you for the news, Your Honor.
Yes, well, I don't know if I can do a Kermit voice.
Don't go for it.
Normally, this is where the prosecution calls for a fourth witness. Calls forth a witness. Not a fourth witness. But, sorry, a frog in my throat.
Frog?
This isn't easy to say. None of this is easy to say. You see, there's some concern that Mr. Edgeworth may have a...
Struck a bargain.
Please don't interrupt me in the future.
You think I may have manipulated the witness?
I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone has been talking and...
Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution.
Solution?
That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses.
No, what? There's no precedent for what you're proposing.
I balk at this universe's, like, legal system, because that is completely regular behavior in a courtroom. The defense calls witnesses all the time.
What? And you're just sitting back and taking it?
Maybe it's different in Japan.
Yeah, Japan's legal system scares me. Just knowing that they have guilty until proven innocent. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses.
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say?
Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. Say that 5 times fast. Prosecution's proposal, prosecution's proposal, prosecution's proposal.
That is settled. The, defense may now call forth the next witness.
Miss Wright,
I'll never get used to saying that.
you do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over. The defense calls. The time's finally come to bring out the real murderer.
Okay, let me get it up.
It's Gant, isn't it?
Hey. Oh yeah.
Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Man, that's just a good name.
Damon Gant! What?
I love it because it's the perfect like balance between having a meaning but still sounding like a real name.
Yeah. As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel you should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? If anyway, he may have manipulated me, or all of us, and everyone. He may be a manipulative scumbag.
Maybe. All right, bailiff.
Wow.
Please escort Mr. Gant to the stand.
Witness, please state your name and occupation. Oh, what is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir.
Mr. Lunch?
Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. So, you want to play hardball, eh?
Please, Mr. Gant.
Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. All righto, what's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean the time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There's still some things unaccounted for. Oh, like what? Like the role you played in all of this. Son, either you are very brave or very foolish. You are aware of the course of you are aware, of course, that you are aware, of course, that the chief of police has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Sure.
Like the murder weapon?
Take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true?
I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify.
Why?
Why?
Shit. You gotta trick him into testifying.
Is that Japanese scholars, please inform me, is that a thing in Japanese legal systems? Can the chief of police of, like, any prefecture just, like, choose not to testify? Because, like, in America, the closest thing we have is the Fifth Amendment. You plead the Fifth because it would incriminate you in some way. Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you.
Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony.
Please start off with a long pause. I can't remember if he does or not. Okay. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up, and that power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can
I'm sorry, we've commented. You are that you are that you are that you and you can do anything.
Oh, screw you, Floof! I've had 4 hours of sleep! As you can see, I've had nothing to do with the forgery.
Is that when Drake was arrested?
Dark.
Dark? Whatever.
Drake was arrested, but, you know.
Wrong murderer.
He started from the bottom, and now he's in jail.
He was lying
Different
unconscious.
Drake, but yeah.
He was lying on the floor unconscious.
Oh, fuck.
When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Doc bumped his head.
I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut.
Wait, didn't Joe Dark end up dead too?
No, he ended up arrested.
It's the statue of limitations.
If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I better hit him hard and fast. Giggity. What am I looking for, Molly?
Hold on. I got this.
Just from context clues, it looks like you should question the hit his head thing, because it looks like he got stabbed in the back.
You never know. You never know. Hold on, I'm on the wrong page. Okay, there we go. Wait. See. This is the final day.
It is the final
Right?
day, the ladder trial.
Yes.
I don't know if there's another trial after this, if there's like a third trial, or if this is the last one.
Oh yeah, here we go. Gant is clearly lying. Present the unstable jar or evidence list on Gant's 5th statement. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery.
Okay. You claim you had nothing to do with this forgery. But I'm afraid that's a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this jar, for example.
That blue badger you showed us earlier. It is?
Okay, so from an angle, this jar represents, like, if you turn it to look at a certain angle, it looks like the head of the blue badger with, like, the kind of jester's hat shape going to it.
Alright.
And it's one of the most annoying puzzles in this game because you're sitting there just, like, fine-tuning, like, the direction of the angle until the game is like, yeah, you finally got it right. It's the most painful thing.
Yeah.
It's awful.
A piece of this jar was discovered in your safe. Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier was actually found inside your desk.
It was found where? Oh,
You see,
desk, I
Chief
misheard
Gant.
you, sorry.
These articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation.
Gant, what's the meaning of this?
Oh, here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit it. Is he talking about Senior Edgeworth? He's talking about defense attorneys. He's not talking about Edgeworth. He's talking about Gregory Edgeworth, I think.
Ooh, but
Oh, that's nice. So you admitted that. That's when that you were involved in the forgery. Who, me? Or do you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Man, I love how much this foreshadows
Apollo.
Apollo.
Come out in a major trial in another game.
Yeah, it is hilarious how much this foreshadows Apollo Justice. Isn't that right, Righto? However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment.
No.
What? If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work.
Yes, well, in the light of this detective's presence, please give us a testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office. And their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene.
My. Kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together. Let's see, what was it now? A jar fragment and a list. For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way.
Thank you, Floof, for that comment.
Dick will receive punishment. Yep.
Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor.
When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol.
You do understand that I'm the chief of police, right? There will be consequences!
Do you guys hear that?
Hear what?
No?
Fucking pouring. Like, I'm in Massachusetts, right? It's been pouring, like, just almost every day for the past, like, month.
Be quiet for a moment. Let me see. Whenever you talk, I can hear it very faintly in the background.
Yeah, I think that's like Discord's, noise gate.
Yeah,
And we got sound effects for all this sweat pouring off Phoenix's face.
Ooh.
Like, it reminds me of, like, the summer inn we used to get down when I lived in Maryland. Like, this is not really normal for here.
Indeed, I believe I will press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again.
Oh, my apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know.
All right, Udgy. In return, though...
Oh, I know. That place, right?
Huh?
that place, that thing you like me to do?
All right, where am I looking, Molly?
Oh, you call me Malls. Press on Gant's 5th statement, rearranging the crime won't help me. And then he'll get another line. You'll press on that.
Okay. Really, Chief Gant? At the very least, there is one big benefit you've reaped from all this. Oh, I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would, of course, be the position you have, Chief of Police.
Oh?
Oh,
Yeah, he's acting chief, right?
What?
He's acting chief, right?
He's current
That's what
chief.
he said
Yes.
earlier.
Yeah, he's the acting chief now.
Yeah.
The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to chief. That in itself is sufficient motive. Ho 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 ho! Oh, that's a good one. Huh? Do you really think that I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable title. The inevitable a little. Is that true, Edgeworth? Yes, he was going to be made chief anyway. Gah! Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at. So that means
4 fingers point back at you.
there's only one
Which isn't
possible
true.
motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I.
I'd like to call myself to the stand.
There, it's out in the open now. Chief Gant, can you please tell us where you were at the time of the crime? Surely, officer, I can tell you right where I was. I watched as she murdered that man. Stabbed him 7 times in the chest, in fact. There, it's all out in the open now. Udgy, would you mind if I change my testimony a little? My testimony.
By all means, please do.
I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me. Press.
Yes.
Nothing in it for you. Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you'd be better think again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. Ho! Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. Huh. Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, he would have helped. Would he have helped someone out?
Point out accomplice, point out Lana.
True, you might not help out anyone for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone.
Mr. Wright. It appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a No? What?
That's not what I mean.
Judge, you're a terrible judge of character. Very well then. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence?
Judge?
Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky? The defendant?
I believe it's quite obvious in the light of the circumstances. Emma Skye fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason is, of course, self-profit.
Self-profit? What do you mean?
Well, it's different than general profit in that it's only for yourself. That is all. No. After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lanaskei was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant.
But how would he profit off of this?
He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations.
And you mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, his appearance, he plays with puppets?
Oh, Judge, never change. Actually, do change. Get Junie in the role.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so cute.
Yeah.
I want it with the voice acting though, so it's just, you know, like, order in the court, please.
Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lanaskei in forging evidence. Your motive? To appoint her as chief prosecutor so you could control her. Righto, my boy, you have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What? Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing? Lana. She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant.
I'm afraid without any proof of this, all amounts to nothing. More than mere conjecture.
Unless... that is also what happened in this incident.
This incident? Which one could that be?
Of course I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her. Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt.
Is that just a threat? In a courtroom in front of a judge?
The threat will once again be stricken from the record.
What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement.
Never seen that angle before. What? What? What?
Because you've missed two different streams where, like, critical evidence has been introduced.
Order! 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 3 Big Macs and 1 Whopper. I know they're from different stores. Make it happen. Mr. Wright, you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. Wait, shit. Huh?
This is an affront to the highest-ranking officer in a law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail, murder.
In Los Angeles, that would never happen.
This is impossible.
Your Honor.
I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Okay. I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in an easier to understand language. It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now. It looks like he's the one who's decided to go through with this. Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief is a high-ranking officer of the law who is involved in this murder? Good question. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. I see. Alright then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got, and it better be good. Show us his evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman. What are we looking for, Molly?
Present the screwdriver or the parking stop. Wait, no. I read ahead by accident. Okay, sorry. That was my bad.
Also mean to shoot nicely, check at you. Alright, quiet joker, aren't we? Oops.
I was looking at it at the wrong paragraph.
Yeah. Don't oops me. Maybe this boot to the head will knock some sense into you.
That had to have been after the meme came out. The boot to the head thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. The original boot to the head thing was the Monty Python, right?
Yeah, but someone animated it using Ace Attorney sprites, and it's freaking hilarious.
Yeah, I remember.
Present the ID card record.
Okay. It mentions it. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, good. Yeah. Get back to the selection screen. There we go. Come on.
Mr. Wright shows the evidence of Chief Goodman, Detective Goodman. Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman.
ID card record? Yep.
Chief Goodman from the future came back to murder himself so he wouldn't get this is the ID card list.
Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 7777777. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It's your number.
I didn't expect that.
I keep thinking like the wallet scene in SpongeBob.
Yeah.
This is your wallet. That's not my wallet.
What? How do you know that?
The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code.
7 digits. You don't mean 8675309?
I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 7777777. The same as the remaining ID numbers on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime.
Order! Order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say?
Nothing. The defense's search of my office was in violation of regulations, and I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law.
Hey.
But right now, this court demands an explanation from you.
As soon as we change those laws to involve yaoi paddles.
About the use of this idea. What? What are yaoi paddles? Oh, that's right.
Paddle?
That's right. They were things at conventions, weren't they?
Yeah, people would like hit people with wooden paddles, like really hard.
Why?
They go yaoi.
Fujoshis are a different breed, okay?
Chief Gant, so you admit it. Go into the evidence room. On the day of the crime.
What about it? I'm chief of police. Whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom, what's the difference? I can go anywhere I want.
You shouldn't go to the bathroom in the evidence room. You'll contaminate the evidence.
Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. How do you know the difference, then?
They're basically the same.
Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he? Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. You hadn't seen him in days, Chief Gant. I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had met with Detective Goodman.
What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt. Well, wouldn't determining that someone else did it kind of prove that she didn't do it?
No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth.
Yeah,
also
exactly.
determine her guilt. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting?
In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Show us proof that the victim went to meet the chief on the day of the crime.
Lost item report.
Lost item report? Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So Detective Goodman filed out a lost item report. He would have had to give that report to the chief of police. Yet you are in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure if he filed it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day.
He needed to.
Yes, to transfer the evidence out.
No.
Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, You accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him. There's no other way to murder the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room. Hold on, let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the chief of police, murdered poor Goodman.
There, he said it! We got him! We got his confession!
Exactly. But wait! There's more!
Chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him into the evidence room. You could have just lent him his ID card.
Yes. Now that you mention it,
Judge, don't
I
give him
believe
ideas.
I might have done something of the sort. Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us the ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body. No!
Yes! Oh my god, I love that story so much.
That's dope.
It's so good.
Chief Gant! Did you just go Super Saiyan 4?
The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit a murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of the Detective Goodman's body, of course. You're forgetting, Mr. Wright. And the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was in the police department the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey, Hugh, take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time I thought it was a useless clue just taking up space.
Oh, could the chief have moved the body? Telling me he has some sort of ESP? Some telekinesis, if you will? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence.
To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used this. Is it the picture of the car?
Screwdriver.
Screwdriver? This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body.
What? A screwdriver? Orange juice and vodka? What? But what does this have to do with the case?
Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. What is this screwdriver doing here? It's here because... Ah! I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted to keep it in here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbing, I brought this back here. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office. But you did, because Chief Gant asked you to. You mean I... The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car.
Snap. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car? Yes, thank you, Judge.
Yes, unless of course you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. To transport the body of to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye.
Order! What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to this defense's outrageous accusation?
Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It's a photo of the body being taken from the trunk.
Chief Gant, please say something!
I believe your time's up.
My time's up. I thought you were going to say I believe in a thing called love. Guilty.
Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the district attorney general after this. We have to get going if we're to make it time for the early bird special. But cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier. A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now.
Cross-examination was different than testifying. What? That is not a right to be so casually invoked. There's certain risks to be considered.
So you're going to just run away after all of this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, You think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof to get it over with.
Well...
You don't have proof.
Say it, Mr. Wright, David Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright.
Your Honor.
Do you have any concrete proof? Do you? Do you? Huh? Do you?
Do I have any concrete? Nope.
Nope.
It's no use showing the evidence. I'm not sure of myself. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence. See, Aji.
In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for this allegation against the chief.
What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, Righto. It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Aji. I'll leave the rest to you.
What do you mean again? I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright.
I love this song so much. It's so simple, but it's just so... Damn, I love it.
This is an affront to a senior officer of this nation's law enforcement agency.
What? Lady Luck, Maybe we should have a word with her.
Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean?
There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony.
Cool, I get a talk.
Yay!
Yay!
A lady who knows the truth? Another witness? What the fuck did I just say? Truth. In the absence of conclusive
because that's what I
evidence,
don't do enough of. Talk.
the only other method of proof is testimony. But Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify. There's still someone else, one more witness who can answer all of the questions. Raised in this trial, someone right in this very room.
Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person?
Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today.
Mr. Wright, does such a witness even exist?
She may not be willing to tell the truth, but we can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth Lana friggin' Sky. Fun fact, in any other court case, this would be a rare circumstance where defense calling a witness, their own witness, would probably call them I think it's combative witness, which is where you can actually cross-examine your own witness. It's a very rare circumstance in law.
The defendant? Miss Lana Sky?
She was in an underground parking lot at 5:15 p.m. on February 21. Her task, to dispose of the victim's body. In accordance with a certain someone's orders.
Mr. Edgeworth? No. Mr. Gant. Jesus, Judge.
The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor.
Very well. The court will now take a final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now in I
think this might be you, Molly.
Hold on.
Huh?
Oh, it's Gant. Oh,
No, it's Gant.
hold on. Judge.
Oh, Chief Gann, I thought you were going to eat.
Listen, good Lana. He's talking to Lana. Guys, this is a threat. Can we get him out of the courtroom, please? I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. There will be consequences!
You're not just allowed to, like, threaten someone on the stand. Isn't that already illegal?
Screw the rules, I have money. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. This isn't good. Of course, you never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. Alright then, I've got a lunch date to meet.
He's such a bastard.
He's such a bastard.
I love him.
He's great.
Okay, well, if there are any further objections, this court is now in recess.
Is it gonna be a break? Alright, brief pause. I'm gonna get a drink. I'll be right back.
My stream. Hey, Fatman, how are you doing? Fatman.
Oh, hello, yeah. Hey, Molly, what's up?
I don't know. What's up with you?
Well, you know, I am writing a video for the 7th time because I'm a fucking idiot who can't just leave well enough alone. And decided that I'm not gonna write it an 8th time. So whenever I finish this version of the script, I'm just gonna record it and edit it and let come what may. How is chat doing though? 18 watchers.
Pretty good.
2 people seem to be.
I've been biding most of my time studying for my test and composing music.
Ah, yes. I mean, hey, that's a good thing to spend your time doing.
Yeah. Also, I uploaded to my channel the video of my girlfriend at like a PetSmart looking at lizards. It's a very good video. If any of you are feeling sad, I suggest you check it out.
Hey, looking at lizards is a great way to cheer up.
Yeah. I'm gonna start the regular streams again too. They'll probably stop again when I move, but then like I'll find a way.
Yeah, I mean that happens. Loof asking me how Volume 5 Part 2 is going. Hey, every time you ask, it gets 5 minutes longer.
Do you think the Ruby soundtrack will drop this week?
Gotta drop sometime, right? Unless they're just not gonna drop Volume 8, because honestly, like, what even were the songs in Volume 8? I don't remember any of them.
There was Penny's song, which is like manufactured to just make you cry, which it didn't because it's bad. And there was the really funny Cinder song. There was a song from Casey's band, which is also not good.
Oh, really? I like Casey's band. What's it called? Like Midnight something?
I don't know.
Yeah, I liked a lot of that music. It sounded like what Ruby music was trying to be in Volume 1 and then gave up on.
You know what's going to be really funny is
terrible, but
I'm probably going to finish the Volume 5 fixing before you do Part 2.
Oh, well, yeah. Most definitely.
All right. Which is probably why we had such a disagreement about the problems with Volume 5. I didn't have your full critique.
Well, I mean, like, the part of the volume that I haven't reviewed yet is just the last 4 episodes. Like,
they're the only 4 episodes where anything happens.
I mean, true. Yeah. So you basically know what my problem is.
All right. Here we go. Looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help.
Get it? Because they're in a video game.
That chief. He's something else. Hey, pals.
Detective Gumshoe.
Not a detective anymore.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
I'm a retective. Don't worry. I've already decided where I'm gonna work. our office.
My office?
Sure. I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with.
What do you mean? Maya?
Still.
All right, but you have to wear the uniform.
Looks like we're all out of moves now.
Just like, oh, there's this great moment in Ace Attorney 6 where she channels someone, and it's not a person that's anywhere near flattering for her outfit, and it's amazing. It's great.
Doesn't he just like rip the top off it?
He does.
He, like flexes and it goes off.
Oh.
Still, it looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Gant's done it again. How is this always getting the upper hand? Why he can't keep getting away with it?
I love how many memes are just present. It's great. It's not fair he has the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, Wright. The game designers didn't have any way out of this. Remember what the judge said. Okay, you know, you're just gonna... There are risks, whatever, yeah, we can skip through that. Risks? What do you mean by that? It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true.
You mean he forfeits his right to say anything, too? Please,
Oh!
It's Emma. That's Emma. I thought it was on.
Emma, are you okay?
Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery.
So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before.
Nah, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved.
Relieved?
Yeah. Now I finally know what really happened. To think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me.
Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her.
What do you mean?
What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders, she must have shut herself up deep inside, to force herself to do anything and everything the chief told her to do. That must be why she became so cold.
It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall.
Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. Was it actually murder, or was it like manslaughter?
Yeah, I was gonna say
That's manslaughter.
I would argue. I would argue it's justified self-defense because at that point she doesn't know who's. At that point, she was saving a civilian from being murdered by a police detective. Like,
yeah, that's completely justified self-defense.
Yeah, it's like.
If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal. I hear we live in one.
Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor.
I see.
Well, we better get back. It's time for the final act.
Emma, why don't you wait here?
I'm going with you. I want to be there. When Lana tells us the truth.
Where the people are.
Those people, I love that song.
Let's
I've been
go.
obsessed with
Ryan.
that song recently.
It's time to end this. Oh, that's where we hit. I could have.
We continued.
Fuck you too, Gabe.
Continued.
We'll save, but we'll continue on. We can hash this out, guys.
To be continued immediately.
We're gonna be here till 9 p.m.
Is it really going to be that long?
I forget.
You have the walkthrough up. Scroll through it. See how long it is.
Okay.
How many testimonies do we got?
Oh, it's not that long. Okay.
Excellent. All right.
You have 3.
Okay.
Now then. Will the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, please take the stand.
Oh, I just finished season 7. I thought there were like 12 more afterwards. Why do you think there were 12 more seasons of RWBY? What
Maybe
hellish
Red
landscape are you
Blue?
living in?
Lives in the dark timeline where there's 12 more seasons of RWBY. Like you know, in like Zero Escape in the second game when they wake up and they realize it's the future and everything is destroyed. It's that, but it's just the cause was that we're on season 24 of RWBY.
It somehow reached mainstream appeal when it made the jump to the CW.
I can't wait for the CW live action reboot. That's gonna be the new meme. It's not the Netflix live action, it's the CW live action.
Oh yeah. Oh no, actually that worries me. I think like it goes the manga, the anime, the Netflix adaptation, the CW adaptation. I think that's like the scale how it goes down gradually over time.
Molly's Emma voice is top notch. Thank you, Floof.
This would be like an hour, maybe 2 at most, depending on the conclusion.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Miss Lana Sky, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you.
But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done the past 2 years.
Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Sky.
Please depict in graphic detail exactly what Chief Gant made you do.
Spare no juicy details.
And be true me.
And remember, you're under oath. Oath is what I call my penis.
Please be accurate with all measurements.
We want to hear the truth.
We need
the truth is what I call my balls.
They slosh.
Why do you make me remember that fanfic?
Because I'm still galled that thing exists.
There was a fanfic we saw and it was just like his balls sloshed.
Oh god.
Batman, as someone else who also has balls, have your balls ever sloshed before?
No. That sounds, I mean, that either sounds like you got like a condition where there's like some sort of like swelling or internal something wrong, or it's like a furry fanfic. Both of those things could make sense.
Alright, back to Ace Attorney. Of course, the truth.
Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister.
Legally. I'll always legally be your sister.
I'd like to present into evidence your adoption papers. It's not relevant to the case, but fuck you. Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship to Chief Gant.
All the juicy details. Everything hinges on your testimony.
The sloshy details.
You're the only chance we have to get to Gant.
I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma.
Sure about this testimony.
Hold on. The comment that says this is maybe dumb, but does Molly like anything? I've only heard heard about things she hates and finds almost everything talked about on these streams as bad. I'm probably wrong, but I don't get like anything.
She likes Amphibia.
I do like Amphibia. I'm funnier when I'm talking about negative things.
Yeah,
that's always the case, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I've tried to write positive reviews and I can't like blend jokes into them, so they come off as like really dry.
Like the thing is that the subject matter we tend to talk about, which is like when I'm talking about like those cartoons that I don't like modern cartoons, I am extremely picky. I'm extremely picky about a lot of things. Music's one of them. Things I like, I really like Ace Attorney. This is a game I really like, a franchise I adore. It's really good. Like, there's a lot of things I do like. A lot of things I do like. There's a lot of music I like. There's a lot of movies I really like. I don't like Kirby. And it's I'm funnier when I'm talking about that.
Okay.
That's about it.
That settles that.
Also, growing up, I was always told, like, don't talk about things too negatively, but also don't talk too much about the things you like. So I'm constantly in a weird middle ground. When I'm on stream, I can do whatever I want.
I will talk about the things I'm completely indifferent to.
Yeah. The weather.
By the way, there are 21 of you and only 4 likes. Fix that.
Yeah.
Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course, I'm sure.
But Lana!
If this is true, then that means Chief Cat has nothing to do with this. Except it's not true.
That's what I've been telling you from the beginning.
Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me.
But what if she's telling the truth?
She's not. I know my own sister.
Did you just read my mind?
I love when the characters do that. Like Maya does that too sometimes. It's great.
It's great how that kind of implies that Phoenix has no poker face, except he apparently has a fantastic poker face. That's his whole thing, is he can tell the most ridiculous things with a straight face, and that's what everyone comments on. So I am confused perpetually by how that functions.
My theory is he has no internal monologue and he's just whispering all this to himself.
I thought she was a medium. Or is that a different character?
Maya is.
That's Maya.
Is. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony.
Deep down, she's just that one cowboy from that video.
Hold on. Just to address Axeman, what do you actually like, though? Because it's more me trying to get a sense of what you compare stuff to or why you think things are bad, if that makes sense. So, like, we'd have to choose a topic here. If we're talking about, like, cartoons, a lot of it has to do with a lot of personal hangups I have regarding how people are portrayed in these cartoons and the messages they send and how people have reacted to them. That's why I react so strongly against them. Like, you take something like Steven Universe, right? Steven Universe isn't bad. It's like, has its issues. It's not a terrible show to watch. But, like, the reaction to Steven Universe is very ugly. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I'm talking about these shows, it's more than just like the face value. I've always been the type to like analyze things way too much, and I just like to try to connect things that I see happen in different phenomenons and different patterns, and that's where I come up with these things. If we're talking about stuff like music, when I'm thinking of like Ruby music and what I'm comparing it to, so the context for me not liking a lot of Ruby music is growing up, my parents both really like Broadway, so I was exposed to a lot of musicals. And I gained a very high standard for narrative songwriting, and Ruby does not do that well at all, despite having a soundtrack, when it could be doing it really well, and that's why I'm so angry about it.
And I try to, like, be as objective as possible with, like, digging through, like, why something is good, in the sense of, like, does it logically progress forward, is basically what I'm getting at. It's like, is the story progressing forward logically? Is it hitting those notes? And how well does it interconnect things? Like, how, like, is it a singular strand that makes sense going forward, and then are there more complexities from other logical strands interacting with it, and do those things conflict, or do they coincide? And that's a very long-winded way of saying, like, if it makes sense, it's generally, I consider it good. Whether or not I like it then comes down to, like, the personal stuff where I'm kind of comparing it. But I typically, like, if I think something is good, it's wholly divergent from the things that I compare it to, if that makes any sense. I don't immediately go for comparisons to say if something is good or not.
Another thing for Ruby music, by the way, because I know that's like a thing I talk about a lot. Like when people say like, "Oh, you're very critical and you have too high standards." So when I was like 12, I really liked Sonic. Sonic music is very similar to Ruby music, but it's like so much more passionate and fun. It's like just as crappy, you know, like it's just as cheesy. But like, there's so much more love to it. I also grew up listening to a lot of rock in general. My dad, loves 70s rock, like any 60-year-old man would. So there's that part of it. As far as the TV shows go, I've also just watched better TV shows. So, movies, I've watched better movies. Video games, I've played better video games. Like, it's...
Yeah, but have you ever seen all three attempted in one medium? Because that's Ruby's.
Zero Escape.
Which blows it out of the water.
Whatever weird meta thing idea you have, Zero Escape has done it first. Zero Escape, or what is it, like Zero Escape or Final Fantasy has done it first?
Or
I thought it was The Simpsons.
Yeah, The Simpsons.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, about Ruby music, I remember having a conversation with Kaito Dan one time where he was saying that the song Hero from Volume 7 would be a good musical song. And I was just like, oh, all that tells me is that you've never listened to a real musical.
Thanks for going into yourselves to tell me this stuff. I'm so sorry to sidetrack you. No worries, dude. It's, not a big stream. We can take time like this. It's not like, there's comments flying up the side right now. That's what I like about this kind of side stream.
Yeah. Although I would like to get to the point where I'm having crazy comments. That would be crazy. I love that.
Oh yeah, when you have like
I enjoy Zero Escape.
Please like and subscribe, and please share this around to your friends they might enjoy it.
I think Zero Time Dilemma was shaky about his execution. We don't talk about Zero Time Dilemma. I mean, there's a lot of good in that game, but if we start getting into the lore of Zero Escape that Zero Time Dilemma introduced, we'd be here all night. So let's keep going.
Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself.
The defense may not begin its cross-examination.
All right, so where am I
hitting? Examine those crosses.
Where am I hitting, Molly?
On Lana's fourth statement, press the unstable jar.
Press and then unstable jar?
Wait.
Or present the unstable
jar. Present the unstable jar.
Why did you have me do that, Molly? Why have you done this?
What? I said the fourth statement.
Did I hit the wrong statement? What was the statement?
I'm on the wrong testimony. I'm an idiot. This is what happens when you distract me.
Why must you fail me so often?
What?
No, that's a meme. Never mind.
Will you take McNeil through 999 Virtue's Last Reward? Oh man. Anyway, so fourth statement, press it.
Noted. Well, okay, it's okay. We can start with a handicap. It's all good. So,
I've not been doing well this stream. My apologies. Did a lot of studying today.
Get to the start. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Press.
Yes.
You say you did this all by yourself.
Yes.
Whoa. Slow down. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene?
It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's body.
What? The prosecutor marshal died from an unfortunate accident.
That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement.
Cousin It, what are you doing on the stand?
You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Doc?
Something like that.
If that's so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Doc was carrying a switchblade knife.
Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle.
That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies. Is the lag really that bad?
All just to protect me.
So, When you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to.
Yes.
Now we're looking for.
Press that new statement.
You planted the tip. Oh shit! And then moved the body. But why? Why would you do that?
You of all people should know, Edgeworth.
So she broke off the knife and planted it in someone's body. Got it. Okay.
With her bare hands.
You've always had a good head on your shoulders.
No, but how did you break off the knife tip? Seriously, that is very difficult to do. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of the others. Which one?
Why did you move the body?
When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body?
It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk.
Well, the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there?
The reason for that is simple.
No, let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Guy moved the body.
Present the unstable jar.
Okay, well, read it out. This is still a new line for you.
Oh. The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan.
There we are.
By the way, yes, I'm trying to deepen my voice again. Yes, it hurts. Yes, I will do this for the stream.
I know, I've been there.
No pain, no gain.
Miss
No
Guy,
pain, no gain.
I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister.
You mean the forgery at the scene of Neil Marshall was, where Mr. Neil Marshall was murdered?
If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I am compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony.
A contradiction in my testimony?
More likely than you think.
I have that picture somewhere on my computer. I swear I have it.
You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan."
That's right.
Do you have a problem with that?
It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood.
I found it. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments.
Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write this message on the jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died.
Ah.
He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar.
No, he just found the pieces and
Rearranged them, and then did it.
Order! Order!
Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regards to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical? I wasn't aware Charlie was on this stream. Chief Prosecutor, have you seen, as in the dark as we are, about the truth towards which we're headed?
What?
Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth.
Very well. The witness may now continue her testimony.
I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered.
You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood? What's that smell?
Blood.
I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time.
She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence.
Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Now you present the unstable jar on the fourth statement.
1, 2, a 3, a 4.
That one.
Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth that even you were unaware of.
What?
We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's office.
In the chief's safe? But how?
He didn't say safe.
I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it.
But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them.
Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you.
But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece?
I'm afraid that's unlikely. Weird slowdown there. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective.
Well, that may be, but everyone makes mistakes. I even once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were already in my mouth all
I've
along.
mentioned it before, but my favorite line in the whole series is, "Don't be so hard on yourself, detective. I've made even bigger mistakes in my lifetime." I want to hear about these bigger mistakes.
I have made more mistakes than any man, woman, or child. Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken.
That?
There's no way a name could have been written on the shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness.
Oh, I hope you're not implying that person was Chief Gant! Time he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, the jar, something.
The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? The judge has a breakdown.
Wait. Another one on trial here?
Dammingant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposely hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called? Fabrication of evidence.
Why would Chief Gant do that?
In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear?
What happened afterwards? Sorry, I haven't been paying attention at all.
Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believing her sister Emma had killed. Lana Skye believed her sister had killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma, and therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became the chief's puppet. Ooh, the blood spurt.
Yourself.
No, I did it on my own.
Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake.
No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients.
Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client. Although, frankly, defense attorneys do come up with some really compelling fucking lies. I'm telling you that. Anyone remember Casey Anthony? Got off scot-free. That woman's a horrible person, but goddamn, she had a good defense attorney.
lawyers. I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth.
I remembered a tweet that was just like all these plant moms going through their 13th succulent, like, okay, calm down there, Casey Anthony.
Jesus Christ. Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap?
Something wrong, Mr. Wright?
Lana, maybe Wright after all. What do you mean, Wright?
So do you tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright?
Miss Sky, please testify once more.
But
If evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie.
But I do remember knocking over Marshall.
Miss Sky, if you will.
I can't.
There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will, if you tell the truth.
Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw.
Do people often just admit that they fucking lied in a testimony?
Yeah, very often. Yeah, they do it all the time. Everyone's just held in contempt of court perpetually. Just how that happens.
Yeah, people being like, okay, I'll tell you the real testimony this time. You have to earn it, like
I mean,
EA DLC.
in fairness, she can make an argument for lying under duress. I think that she has a case there about all this being done under duress the entire time. She has admitted to murder multiple times, and it's very clear that she's not a murderer right now.
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
Judge said something.
Yeah, just
probably something silly.
When I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor sword, Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent.
Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor sword?
Spear. It's a spear. You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof.
Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning.
Is it
What?
the fucking evidence? The rules of evidence? That's what the other 300 pages of that book were. They are all
The
just
picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it.
No. What? I don't remember that picture.
I thought it might be needed.
But I don't remember receiving a picture like that.
Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright, she really does have faith in you.
Well, Mr. Wright, please present this picture.
I don't remember receiving any picture from Lana.
Lana said she gave it to you this morning, right?
I seem to remember getting something from her then.
Let's check that evidence again.
Be a picture in there
There
somewhere.
must be a picture in there somewhere.
I don't remember what that was. It the piece of cloth? No.
I think. Hold on. Check the evidence law book.
Check it or present it.
Check it. Check it. And then open up the back.
Hey, there's a picture in here.
Oh, snap.
Oh. Oh my. This is the actual crime scene.
No other detective saw the crime scene like this. Because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I'd rearranged everything.
On this picture, insert into the court record.
Mr. Wright! That piece cut out from his that piece come out from his vest. Could that be?
The cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe. Oh, it's the flashback. Handprint, isn't it?
I like how perfect the handprint is.
That cloth, it had fingerprints on it. Whoever fingerprints those are must be the real murderer.
What?
Such a perfect, like, E-Honda 1,000-hand slap, like...
Well, I'm wondering, like, is there something like with blood? Like it warped the... Can you warp a handprint into leather? But those fingerprints, they're yours, Emma.
Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright?
Anyway, let's get on with this cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer.
Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body in... Oh, wait, no, we already... This isn't new.
Oh, shit!
Come now, Ajit. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen.
Chief Gant!
What? Now you want to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two for my defense. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of a noose tightening around your neck. Ah, so what? You think I'm worried? I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. What? No, that's not
true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence?
No, I don't, but someone does.
Someone?
So, what's your
Prosy D,
excuse,
I love
Wright?
him! No, that's someone.
Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt.
Is this true, Mr. Wright?
We literally didn't get a chance to present evidence, Your Honor. Could we maybe move the trial along? If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made out as the murderer.
Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now! And if you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries.
It's typically the state bar, actually, but I mean, what do I do now? I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make any wrong decisions. Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall?
Cannot show evidence.
Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this time. What? You lie!
Chief Gant!
You opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together.
Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know those fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? It looks like part of it's been cut away for some reason. You mean you have this in your safe?
What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence? This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department.
Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Righto. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened.
What? You mean you admit to it?
I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana.
So you really were manipulating her?
I knew Lana. If I made it look like they blamed Lay with her sister, then when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. So you assisted Miss Sky. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dock convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene. 2 pieces of evidence? You mean those items in your safe?
But why? What is this batshit trial? Like, what are they trying to determine? Can any of these witnesses be trusted at this point? Like,
for insurance, of course.
Insurance?
I was sure my plan would work out, but it's best to always be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed.
You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence?
What do you take me for, a fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck.
Yeah, you made it by forging evidence.
I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces. But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on the jar too? Ho ho ho! Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come on, Righto, cough it up already. I know you have it.
What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright?
So you admit to it then, Chief Gant, that you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe. Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that being chiefin. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer.
Is it Ace Attorney logic where the only crime they have is murder and nothing else?
Yeah, really.
There is a case in the 6th game where it starts out as being like negligent homicide and they up it to murder.
Oh, no, the case in the first in that case starts out actually as a civil dispute. You start out with a plaintiff instead.
No, I'm talking about the 2nd case in Fear Justice.
Oh, right. That's
Well, let's spoil it.
Well, I'm just trying to think of who the defendant was. Was it
It's Trucy's case.
Trucy's, okay.
Look,
great case.
what do you have to say for yourself? Like, wouldn't the having someone else's handprint on the vest make him look even less like the murderer? So why did he take it?
Foolish move, Righto. You should have shown it then before it was too late. It's been a long battle, but the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess it up here, my victory is mine. Show evidence or not?
Yes.
Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now.
All right, let's see this conclusive evidence of yours. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall.
The cloth? Is it the cloth, Molly?
Yeah, it is.
Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh yes! At last you finally brought it out in the open.
That handprint on this piece of cloth. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth.
Your Honor, the prosecution requests that be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather, there must be a strong impact on it for it to be left so clearly.
You mean?
It could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. But he could have just pushed it.
Yeah, I know. Why is this the thing?
You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Wright had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that?
Mr. Wright, do you really know?
Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they?
Very well. I'll tell you. It was O.J. Simpson. The glove did not in fact fit. It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted.
The person to whom these fingerprints belong is... Emma Sky? The Emma Sky?
What? They're mine?
I'm sorry, Emma.
But why? Why didn't you tell me?
Oh ho ho! You're really something, Wright. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me.
So it's true. Tragic but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. That's not murder.
How could you? You monster!
This guy?
You knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't.
Miss Sky, it's not over yet.
What?
I said this trial isn't over yet. Ha! But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense.
You concealed it for years, though! What the fuck is wrong with these people?
I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer. Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh, and what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall?
What?
Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask?
It was Emma Sky, wasn't it?
I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is.
Dun dun dun.
I just realized I've been using my webcam microphone the whole time. Gonna kill. You know what? I'm gonna shoot myself in Minecraft.
Please don't do that. Your Minecraft character is so precious to us.
All those good lines through that shitty microphone.
Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth. What could it possibly contradict? It looks like it's cut into a perfect square.
Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. Which one is it?
Hold on. Present that picture.
And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. See where the pieces of his vest was cut out?
Oh yes, his shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though.
Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs, no doubt, were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth.
Oh, with this piece of cloth. Wait! There's no blood on it!
Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at the time. No, this is nonsense. Now then, Chief Gann, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Lana Sky, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armor's sword? Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue. And make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut off this bloodless piece of cloth from the victim's vest. Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved you were the actual murderer. No! It's finally all over.
Just as I got the right microphone on.
Objection. Oh, that was close, Righto. You almost had me. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations.
What do you mean you refute his allegations?
Can't you, you see that piece of cloth? It's illegal evidence.
Order? What is this nonsense? Are you gonna have to present the actual laws of evidence book?
I think so. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Aji? Earlier, old Righto here concealed that piece of cloth. So, conclusive evidence. Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't have been conclusive until the Gant told his fucking story. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence.
At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence.
But that's not fair!
Did you actually think you could best me in court? It looks like the last laugh's on you, son.
Dad? I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claims is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth?
True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person, assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal.
Well, Mr. Wright. All these twists and turns.
It seems at last. The time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived.
His plan? Mr. Wright! Do you admit to it? That you purposefully, illegally concealed this piece of cloth?
I did not?
I did not.
I admit, I refused to present it at one point. Aha! So the evidence is illegal. No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present the evidence, it's that I couldn't.
What do you mean you couldn't? This is what I said, right?
Yep. There are certain procedures involving when presenting evidence. No, Aji, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. You can't really believe. There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not?
Oh, well, then let us settle this once and for all. Earlier, you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not a violation of the law, then do so now.
Book time. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. This tiny fucking sheet of paper of a book. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have the approval from the police department. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here's the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy. Just take one look at this picture and... Sorry, but can you recall, when was that picture presented?
It was shown only a few moments ago.
No! He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece from the vest. Yes, yes. No! It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence.
Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah, it wouldn't have been conclusive before he said his piece. Yeah.
You, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before the prosecutor marshal in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. And there's only one person who that could be. Damon Gant. The killer was you.
Awesome job, Raymond.
Thank you. I knew I should have gotten rid of him.
Who?
That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years, he's been snooping around the department, trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Starr, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yes, that's right. It's you, Fat Man. You're Marshall.
If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you've got to go help me.
Goodman turned him down, as he thought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room, and then all of a sudden he decided to speak out. Goodman. What are you talking about, Goodman?
Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? I don't know what Goodman's supposed to sound like. We can transfer the evidence out. We can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered.
He opened his evidence locker and he was taking the evidence out. He said,
It's not too late. I'm going to hand all this over to Marshall.
Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it, that accursed knife. I couldn't just pull it out. Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worried so much about the floor, I didn't realize my fatal mistake. The bloody handprint. Detective Gumshoe's locker. I used to be known as the crime computer. But everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Then you put the body in my car. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk.
I like the idea that he managed to sneak it out.
Yeah, that's... Well, there's no one on guard, so...
Oh, that's true.
But what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Yeah. Leaving behind the prosecution's car aside, how can you get Miss Sky involved in all this? Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out. So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker. I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take. So, you left the jar fragments in the glove. Yeah, it looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. That's right, isn't he pull a twist here? They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well in close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court? Me? You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it is, what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Udgy.
No, what?
Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend.
What? Oh no! Innocent! I am sorry too, Damon Gant. I knew you as you used to be, long ago. Didn't you do this long ago? You were once a fine investigator, an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person.
Those days are gone now, Udgy. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine.
Thanks
now
for the
you have Wright over
memories,
here.
even though they weren't so great.
And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of a new beginning. Well, he took his arrest very well.
Yeah, you got caught.
There are two things I want you to understand.
Yes.
First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky, you no longer have any reason to keep silent.
You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years. From the time I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today.
So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered.
I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble.
My. What high standards you have. For a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows? A few years from now, you just might make it to the top.
Ooh. Oh, look at those!
Well, he did start from the bottom,
smiling.
and now he's here.
I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright.
Miss Sky?
And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you.
It was nothing. Liar.
I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, You rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You rose above the ashes. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth.
Stop it. I only did my job.
Oh.
In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Sky.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact that you still acted as his accomplice, it's pretty fucked up, if you ask me.
Yeah, it really is. There's a picture on my computer I took the first time I played this trial when I was 16 of me flipping off the judge for a second.
The trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
Is there something amusing about all this? Why are you smiling?
It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains.
Well, this trial has gone on far too long already.
It feels like months.
Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, not
Objection!
guilty.
Someone just objected.
The fucking confetti.
I love the confetti. That's my favorite part.
That is all. This court is adjourned.
Did you guys ever see... Did either of you see the live-action film?
Somebody mentioned it earlier.
No, I
yeah.
didn't see it.
In the live-action film, they actually do the confetti. But the thing is, the very first case that he has is in like a really shitty courtroom. So instead of having like the more professional confetti coming down from the top, they just have someone off to the side throwing confetti over them. It's hilarious. Like, I need to watch that movie again with a little more appreciation of Japanese comedy, because that's great. 5:03 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. At long last, it's finally over. Ah, shit. Emma? Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook. At least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit.
No, that's not it. Just now.
I wanted
after
the bitch to go
trial
down.
ended-
Me if I thought so highly of you. Yeah, we just saw this. Please, stop. We don't need these flashbacks.
You know, I did my best too. But Lana didn't say a single word to me.
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. I guess I am. Yeah, I'll go back later, I guess.
I love Gumshoe. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it?
You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run around all while on duty. This is the same line I fucked up earlier. On top of all that, call me in here. I've seen happier funerals. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding.
Oh, are you here because of my sister again?
No, not this time. I came today because of you, pal. Wait, it's a different day?
No.
Oh, that's right. I thought you'd like to see someone.
Lana!
Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know.
Hey, being under arrest is just a suggestion where I come from, pal. Well, I won't tell if you don't.
Emma, I owe you an apology.
What happened to Gumshoe after trials and tribulations? He settled down with Maggie and had a ton of kids, and they were very happy for the rest of their days. That is the only explanation I will take.
Yeah, it's a shame that they never bring back these characters.
They need to. Next game.
Yeah. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day 2 years ago... Huh? Was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess. Sis. I asked Gant to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake. But now I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day.
Into this dope-ass suit.
I had to.
I hadn't changed since. Wearing the same clothes for 20 years.
It was the only way I can make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself. But I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you were only doing it for me! No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you. Sis. I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize!
It's too late to apologize. It's too late.
I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course! You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have! Oh, Emma. Emma.
Aww. That's nice. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do now is strive to make up our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because, I don't know, some kind of platitude? We'll figure it out. Because in doing so, we can find a way back to our rightful path. And it's from there that we can move on towards a brighter future. At least that's what I felt watching these two sisters make up.
Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe.
Me?
Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth?
Edgeworth's just been like hiding behind the plant back there the entire time, just like... Edgeworth!
Stop hiding and come over here.
He always looks so angry. Where was he hiding?
Resting bitch face.
I just came to say, congratulations.
Thank you.
Emma.
I know. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Right, well, I'll be going now.
Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you.
It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realize today that I can't correct my mistakes.
Mr. Edgeworth, this is just like how my fanfic starts.
I must now face the yaoi battle.
Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. You despise criminals, I can feel it. You and me were the same. I wear your clothes at night. What? What?
You smell different when you're awake.
Don't worry, Lana covered that one up too. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I needed a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now. But Edgeworth, who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue as a prosecutor.
Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma.
Both pieces of shit.
Were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime.
And committing.
But they both made the same mistake.
Committing a crime.
Committing a
Killing people.
murder.
You said in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You aren't alone.
Lana, you're making this exceptionally gay, and I do not appreciate it.
you need a weapon. Here, have my yaoi paddle.
You were working together with Mr. Wright. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered.
I do
I
love...
don't like the way you put finger quotes around partnership.
Please stop doing that. How are you managing to do that? I love how this series presents prosecutor and defense attorney as like cooperative people, but in reality, we literally have what is called a combative legal system. It is not a cooperative one, intentionally.
Isn't that right, Mr. Wright?
Huh? What? Oh, yeah. This is a pop quiz?
Come on, Mr. Wright, show him what Lana's talking about.
Evidence, huh? Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own. What is it?
The evidence list.
That's the picture I drew.
Our counterattack began with this. You had one half of the evidence list, and I had the other. Apart, we wouldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture. And though she's a terrible artist.
That didn't happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth.
It's time for me to go.
Mr. Edgeworth.
If you'll excuse me, there are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. Edgeworth, what will you do now? Disneyland. Well, whatever you do, just remember, you can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know. It seems I owe my thanks too, right? But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. Farewell.
My turnabout, which would be, next time. I better be going too.
Okay, but I'll be by to visit soon.
It seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you.
Scientific investigation?
It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well.
Thanks, sis. I will.
It's the first book I ever bought. It's horrifically outdated.
They don't even know what DNA is.
And so, another case...
Emma was born in the 80s.
Emma was born in 2000, so Lana was born... How old is Lana?
Like 89. Right?
She's 29.
Oh, she's 29. And this is 2017?
So...
No, Emma was born in
2001.
2001, and Lana is 13 years older than her, so she's 92.
92.
No one. My math is fucked. Hold on.
88.
88. I have an engineering degree, everyone.
You don't
in
need
your
to do
lives.
math when you're
I've
an
only just
engineer.
begun.
All the computers do that for you.
And so for me, I think it's time I started on my a new journey of my own. a journey to rediscover myself.
Oh, well, don't go tricking off just yet, pal. I'd like almost thought that said jerking off.
Huh? That is a detective.
It's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this.
But
I thought you said it was okay.
Yeah, well, maybe okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story.
Huh?
Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Shit. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either.
Huh?
way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side.
Well, yeah, see, I also have a broke side, so... yeah, you'll be footing the bill.
Huh? Ah!
What, you think I could afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. I'm doing you a favor.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best.
Why is it? I suddenly feel like I want to scream.
Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together, but mostly you.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go.
Oh, there we go. Rise from the ashes, everybody.
Ahem.
Oh, that's right. Europe. Hope she'll be pleased. I'll have to read these. It's faster.
Yeah.
As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days at the prosecutor's office. Still, I'll manage to find my way back to the field somehow. Then, I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. You're going to prison for a long time. 2 years is a lot of crimes to cover up.
Yeah, she's not out 10 years later, so... Emma never mentions her again.
In fairness, neither is Iris, and Iris didn't do all that much. So, I mean...
Kazuya Nuri, who is, the GOAT
was
with character design in the series.
They overlook my authorized... If we penalize you anymore, it'd be worse than firing you. Yep, that's what they said. Just goes to show, you can't shake me off that easily.
Like a bad case of Yowie paddling.
My headcanon is that Lana was, like, shanked in prison, like, day 3.
I mean, yeah. Oof.
Yeah, you think a chief prosecutor is lasting in prison? Think about all the people there that she put away.
She'd probably be in solitary, like, freaking...
Now that she's been revealed as, like, an evidence forger.
Yeah. Solitary's not gonna save her.
My new mission is the guard! Can you believe it? I've been demoted to a security guard! My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today! I'll show them, though! Someday I'm going to make detective! Yes, sir! Then I can just be like Dick Gumshoe! You don't... Buddy, don't... You need a new line of work. Meekin's come back. That's right, he's in Apollo Justice, isn't he?
Unfortunately, yes.
One day I'll be just like Dick Gumshoe and make Phoenix pay for all my bribes.
Okay, so we burn this thing now, right? We don't need it as
Lana
evidence.
becomes a dom. If you think Lana is the one who is doing anything to anybody in prison, I have a lot of news for you.
I mean, to be fair, Lana did suffer 2 years under Gant. What is 10 years in prison compared to that?
Well, Gant never killed her.
True.
Hard to argue with this logic.
What is it? Can't you see I'm having me a showdown with a steak lunch partner? Miss Star managed to sneak this into me. She's seen one of the guards, it seems. Well, cowboy, it looks like you did it. You even gave Bambina back her smile. Can you make sure Billy and the gang gets their water? Who's Billy?
The cactus.
Oh, that's right. Kemi Kimura, goat. Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while. a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu. The Right Way lunch. The top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer is as sweet as victory. Sounds horrible. Kids seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's a hot seller. Just make sure not to eat it backwards. I don't know. I like bitter things. I don't know if I like bitter or sour more. I'm trying to think of what the distinction between the two is.
Marshall might be able to cover for Lana or something. He's not a correctional officer.
I'll never forget what young defense lawyer said after that trial. Let's see, after his name again, Mr. Left? Anyway, he said he's been doing or something or other for how many years? Anyway, I've got another trial to get to, so I'd better be... Huh? Oh no, I forgot my gavel. Sorry, gotta go. Just wait till we get the Canadian judge.
I love Canadian judge.
I would love to be you, Fat Man. You're just listening to this.
I gotta go.
You gotta go? All right, same man. Good time.
Bye.
Yoko Buto. Alexander O. Smith. Philip Soldini.
Maya!
Ah, nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air. Still, sometimes I do miss hearing you and your objection. Still, I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spirit medium.
Mystic Maya, after the training's about to begin.
Coming. Well, see you around, Nick.
That's the voice I'm gonna use for her.
I imagine that was actually Pearl's calling for her.
Oh, I would think it was like a teacher or something.
Possibly. Bum, bum, bada, bum. And now the cat's trying to break down my door. You can probably hear it.
I heard it.
He'll be here for a little bit. Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth. Please, Mr. Edgeworth. I brought you your tea. What's this going on? Yeah, and that's a cliffhanger for the next game. Even though the timelines don't technically line up, but you know what? Whatever.
Doesn't matter.
It's just a line change, that's all you need.
Yeah.
Tetsuya Minami.
Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book.
Oh, it's a sad thing that, like, she never ran into Athena while she was... Oh, did she? Or is she friends with Athena? Like, from their time?
No, that's like a headcanon I had like 3 years ago, but no. I love this picture so much.
That is so goddamn adorable. She's wearing Lana's hat.
I love that. Alright.
Rise from the Ashes got the achievement, though it's not on screen. Oh, man. So do the later trilogy of Ace Attorney games work in the context of being Phoenix games or more Apollo and Athena games? I actually... They figured out what to do, because honestly, the irony is that Apollo Justice feels more like a Phoenix Wright game than an Apollo Justice game. And then you have Dual Destinies, which is much more an Apollo and Athena game. And then you have Spirit of Justice, which is almost exclusively an Apollo game. So they kind of worked backwards. What should have been Apollo Justice, Spirit of Justice, or whatever, something like that, is called Phoenix Wright. But what's called Apollo Justice is really Phoenix Wright starring Apollo Justice. It's really bizarre how that all works out. The naming convention of the English ones really should have just stuck with Ace Attorney 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Although the names of the first trilogy are awesome.
Apollo and Athena is the best pairing that franchise has ever had. I will stick by that. Besides Phoenix and Iris, because like obviously.
I don't know. I I still ship Apollo with Vera. I think, but that's like, I really wish they had more of a habit of bringing other characters back. The original trilogy had such a good job of bringing back old characters and reintegrating them into new cases in unique ways, or just having them be on the sidelines while doing things. You didn't know that Apollo was mostly the one in spirit? Yeah, he was the main, like, I mean, there's a whole case in Spirit of Justice where it's like his final
backstory, basically.
Yeah, he has like the last case to himself. Although Phoenix heads the last part of it, there's a whole section during it where it's basically head-to-head Apollo versus Phoenix, and it's great. I thought they'd have more Athena in that. Athena gets shafted in Spirit of Justice.
It's so sad.
It's so sad.
But she has the greatest filler case of all time, but it's still a filler case.
Yeah. Oh, hey, you're back.
Guess the stream was over by the time I got back.
Good. You actually just missed us talking about a ton of spoilers.
Oh, fantastic.
So good timing on that. But yes. So how did you like Rise from the Ashes, Fatman?
I thought it was pretty cool. I thought there were a couple things where it's like, what the fuck is going on? Why are they like, why are they okay with this mostly? I'm like, wait a second. There's no way that would fly. Or a couple times when I was like that, but I mean, you know, like, you gotta give them the dramatic license.
Yeah.
Like, finding out all of the evidence is like forged, and it's just like, or like how like the standard, I mean, at least in America, the standard is like beyond a reasonable doubt. So you can throw out like one crucial piece of evidence and basically be like off the hook for murder conviction.
Basically, yes.
Or something like that. I guess it doesn't work the same in Japanese, but still, there were a bunch of times and I'm like, what is going on?
Go like to Paul. Also, do anything more.
I mean, that's just a Phoenix, right?
Yeah. You mean Juniper?
Sure.
I mean, not gonna lie, like I know Molly doesn't like it. At least I don't think she hates it, but I don't think she likes it either. I am a
what case?
No, not Case. He's talking about Juniper, and I'm just like, I ship Junie and Athena a little bit. I think they're kind of cute. I don't
just like Junie as a character.
But
She's cute.
Not as a character, but like the ship. I'm talking the ship between Athena and Junie.
Oh yeah, fuck.
Yeah, oh fuck! Oh, come on. It's a harmless ship at the very least.
Fine. Just saying, I got my main.
Yeah,
my
no,
main fix
you're
here.
fine to have your ship. I'm not. Yeah.
A harmless ship. It's got
is.
cannons and shit on it.
Oh man. Okay. Well, that's all for the stream today. Thank you all so much for joining us. It has been a blast going through all this again. The next game we actually might play might be Great Ace Attorney. Honestly, because that's out now.
It's a great one.
Exorbitant wants you to play 999. That game's already voiced though.
Yeah, that'd be a little difficult.
Yeah, I want to do Farewell My Turnabout because I love that case to death.
Well,
but that would be
the
having
thing
to
is,
sit through all of Justice for All.
The problem is, we'd still have to actually play through the entire game. I would still need to do that. So we'll see. We'll try and get things arranged. I still have to buy Great Ace Attorney because that's out now, and I'm excited to play that. But yes,
I've never gone through it, so we'd be going through it blind.
Yeah, that'd be a complete blind playthrough. And I'd be trying to do all the Japanese pronunciations correctly. Naruhodo Ryonosuke. All right.
Before you guys go, what would you guys do if you were to make an Ace Attorney game? That'd be a whole nother stream. We need to leave. I'm tired and my throat hurts like hell.
I'm tired.
So.
I need to go eat, and I need to record for today. I'm almost done recording the script for Volume 5. I'm very excited to get to editing. All right. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll catch you all